Good morning.
Good
Good morning. Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. All bets on me, kings and queens. I hope you guys are doing well on this beautiful Saturday morning. With me today, I have a very special guest. I'm so excited to have Miss Tasha Byrd here with me. Before we go any further, let me just pause. I'm sort of kind of acting like everybody know who I am. So let me introduce myself. I am LaShonda Walford. I am the founder of this amazing All Bets on Me community. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I am an author, entrepreneur. Enough about me, right? So I want to just thank you guys for your patience. I saw a few of you jump right on earlier this morning when I first logged in, um, but we were having technical difficulties. But nevertheless, we're here. And I thank you so much for choosing to be in this space with us. There's a million other things and places you guys could have chose to be this morning, but you chose to be here with us, and we are so grateful for that. So, Miss Tasha,
Good morning.
good morning, beautiful. Can you please tell the people who you are?
Okay, my name is Tasha Byrd, and I'm also a wife and a mother and a grandmother to this beautiful little soul. And I am an author, a best-selling author. I am on another book project and waiting to release my solo book. Oh, and I'm so sorry. And I have to get used to certain things. I am the co-founder of I Choose Too LLC.
Yes, ma'am, that you are. Look, I wasn't gonna let you sleep on that. We're gonna talk about that. So now that we know a little bit about, you've given them a little bit about who you are, let's talk about, if you don't mind, I would like to talk about your chapter in Blessed Not Broken. We're going to give them a little bit, but not too much,
Okay.
because for those who have not purchased the book, we want you to go purchase the book to get the full story. But just share a little bit, wherever, whatever you're comfortable with, share a little bit about um, the book project and your chapter.
Okay. Um, for the book Blessed Not Broken, I'm on volume 4, The Power of Letting Go. Um, as you heard me say, it's volume 4. So I know about volume 1, 2, 3, but volume 4 stuck out to me versus verse 3. And because I realized that there was a lot of things that I needed to let go. And although I had a lot in my journal, it was still different. That at that time, that title just hit me, that there are things I need to let go for the places I need to go, for the places I need to be, for where I need to show up and how I need to show up. So I had to let those hurtful things go. I had to like show my growth, you know, and part of showing my growth was letting it out, sharing it, because I know that there are several people out here in this world that have dealt with and probably is still dealing with not having a close relationship with their parents due to where their parents were at the time. You know, mine's were a teen pregnancy, teen parents. My mom, she was a single mom. She did the best she could, but what she didn't know and what she couldn't provide, it affected me in different ways that it was hurtful. I was lost, and then I shared an experience when I was 15, um, where that totally was a whirlwind for a teenager. But I think I did the best I could. Also, I give all praises to God for that, because my mom, what she did introduce me to the Lord at a young age. So that was like, I've always said, you know, God will set you up. It may not be for you to use it right then. It may be down the line. So that setup of introducing me to Christ, it paid off later on down the line, because he kept me sane. He kept me, together as much as I could understand. And I grew from it. You know, it held me back for many years. Like I said, I was 15. And I believe around in my 40s, 42, 43, where I started to stop allowing it to taunt me. I started to understand, and like I just prayed more and understood like this doesn't define me. That situation, and I let go a lot of the blame. I forgave myself. I forgave my parents. And then I moved on to my husband. You know, we went through a lot of ups and downs, a lot. And God kept me strong through that because at that point, he just wasn't my husband. He was my children's father. And you know how many fatherless children um, are out here these days. And again, I've always relied on God for the strength. You know, I have faith tattooed on my back, but it was like, I need your works. I need your works to step in. So that's where I just, was very consistent with my prayers. I fasted, I didn't let go. I didn't let go of God mainly. My husband today, he still says like, he know. So he just be like, how? And like, I appreciate you and, all the things that you went through, especially this chapter. He read the chapter. And when he came, it was one night he read the chapter. He stood at our bedroom threshold and was just like, "You are bomb." I was like, because I didn't know he was reading it. And he just like, you made me remember a lot of things that I forgot and that I didn't know, you know? And he was like, and then about you. I mean, we met when I was 18, 18, turning 18, yeah, 18, turning 19. I met him in February and my birthday's in August. So I was turning 19. And so he was like, I didn't know a lot. So it was life changing for both of us, of both of us.
That is so amazing. Now,
Mhm.
I do have a couple of questions that came from that, right?
Okay.
Because was there ever a point prior to you hearing about the chapter or the opportunity to write about the power of letting go?
Wait, I'm sorry.
Were you ever at a point where you recognized that prior to hearing about the power of letting go and having the opportunity to share in the collaboration, right? Was that the first time that you were faced with, or that you recognized that you had things that you needed to let go, or you knew prior to that, and that was just the first time that you actually acted on it and like had the courage to actually do the work?
um, Prior to the volume, um, like I said, I dealt with it in my own way. I had gained a lot of the strength where I didn't allow it to play off in my head. I promise you, like given a week time span, it would enter my thought process at least 4 to 5 times throughout the week. I mean, it could be a song, it could be a dish like a restaurant, anything that reminded me of those times, and it didn't feel good. So I had to. I promise you guys, prayer is just like the most awesome tool you could ever run to, you could ever do to just like get through tough times. And so prior to, I just dealt with it in a way that it gave me the courage. It built my courage to come out. It built my courage to write and to share and not be ashamed. Like I'm not ashamed. Like God brought me to this space and I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm excited. All those things. And again, the title of my chapter, I forgive. That's the main. I forgave, but it was like to really like forgive myself. Sometimes that, self guilt or not forgiving yourself for what you did or what was done or how you play a part in it, um, it holds you back. It seriously holds you back when you could say, "Oh, I'm good." I really wasn't. So, and then being in the community with Tamara, it's been like amazing. I mean, when you hold on to stuff and you don't share, it makes you feel like you're by yourself. But when you let a little bit go at a time and you hear different stories or different experiences, and it's like, no, I knew I wasn't by myself, but to open up for the support. and then to be supportive. It was her new word, the game changer. That was a game changer for me. And I was just like, I am not like, I am more than what I experience. Like that doesn't, warrant that I stay in that space. You know, I have a daughter looking at me. I have a son, and now I have this little precious face. So it's like my choice is to keep going. My choice is to change. My choice is to change my environment, which I did, but it's like because my kids didn't experience a lot of things, thank God. Not to say we didn't go through stuff, but it's just how to navigate through those things and how to be supportive through those situations that we've been through. I always tell them we go through them, we don't stay in them. So prior to, he was working on the back end to get me to the point where I'm at today.
And I kind of figured that, but I just wanted to ask, since you're right here, and that's how, God works in such a mysterious way, right?
Hmm.
Especially when it's like he had been tugging at you for a while, trying to get you to start working on this on your own. So once you didn't take the steps, then here come Miss Tamara with this opportunity that you just could not resist,
Yeah.
and it probably, I know for me, when there's something that God really wants me to do and really wants me to move on, I can't sleep. He wakes me up in the middle of the night, like all times. It doesn't matter. I'm up and it's constantly playing in my mind of what it is that he's trying to get me to do, right? It's like everywhere I look, turn, there's this signal or a sign, but it all ties back to that one thing that he's been trying to get me to do, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I think you have an amazing story and an amazing testimony. But what I'm going to be totally honest with you, I am so proud to see you in the space that you're in right now. When you and our first encounter was, we got to give Miss Tamara a shout out. We're not going to turn the interview into her, but I promise you, I don't think she understands the connections that, have been created just out of her having the space that she has, right? And doing what she does so freely from her heart.
Hmm.
But the first encounter we had was, I think, I joined a Zoom with you and your co-authors when y'all first started, just to welcome you guys into the Blessed Not Broken family, because I
Oh,
was part of Volume One.
yes. Hmm.
But and you seemed like you were always very nice, but you seemed a little bit reserved and
Hmm.
a little shy.
Hmm.
So to see you in the light that you are now, doing lives and just, being unapologetic,
Hmm.
sharing your story and not being ashamed or embarrassed about what you went through.
Yeah.
I'm just so proud of you for having the courage and, just taking those steps, because I don't think people realize that when we're obedient to what we're supposed to do, other people get their breakthroughs. You're
Yeah.
giving so many other people the courage to speak out, to write it out, to walk it out,
Hmm.
and just face those things that they've been running away from. So I just wanted you to know that I'm super proud of you. And every time I see you post, every time I see you somewhere, I'm cheering in the background.
You are.
Yay! I'm sharing your posts just like everywhere because I'm
Yeah.
just so proud. I promise you, I'm so proud, and I feel so honored just to have met you and just to know you.
Thank you so much. I remember the first I recorded the video because I was like, okay, I shared it though. And you was like, you were the first one, make this public. I was like, okay, how you do this? You talk about not technical. I was like, okay, where do I do this? But I thought that was so like that gave me like a boost, like, okay, I'm on the right path. Like continue to do this. But it was like I was still, going through that process. But I remember that you were the first
Oh,
who said, hey, make this public. And I made it public. And it was just,
Oh,
yeah, that was
look,
my
that's
first encounter. But a lot has changed internally for me. I
yeah.
mean, I had to catch up. Like I had to catch up my emotions. I mean, so much has happened internally,
Yeah.
emotionally for me. Like writing that chapter, I went through so many emotions and feelings, and it made me think like, is this what I should have experienced at the time that I covered, that I put to the side because I'm putting on this face? I'm
Mm,
like, and
mm,
my husband was like, one day he was like, he was scared to say something to me because he didn't know what side of the fence I was on.
wow.
Like, so I had to explain to him. It helped our communication too because he's like, he doesn't, sometimes he says, when I see you in like certain areas, it makes me think back then when I used to make you mad. And I don't make you mad no more. I don't make you sad. I don't hurt you no. So I'm like, no, it's not that. It was something else regarding. So I have
Right.
to break it down because I don't want him to think it's like him. It wasn't him. I was going through some stuff, dealing with and understanding where my parents were.
Right. Right.
And like and now God development, discovery, growth is something else.
Right.
Like I've learned stuff about my grandmother, my mom, my dad, and they were with me on a daily basis. But
Hmm.
I'm just learning
Right.
and understanding how it played a part. And that's part of where that generational, and if you keep it a secret, if you keep it, it's hurtful. And it keeps
Right.
you like in a place of like just in a block. Like you're aimless. I was aimless.
Hmm. Hmm.
So like to get, it's just like I told my mother-in-law, it's like I'm free.
Right. Exactly. Now, how does that feel? Because I know exactly what you mean, right? There's nothing, because you told your story yourself. So there's nothing that you have to be, ever afraid of somebody knowing this part about me because I've been keeping it a secret, right? You told your story yourself. So
Mhm.
how does that feel? Explain what you mean when you say I'm free. Like, seriously, how
I
does
mean,
that feel?
I'm free to be excited. I'm free to move on, like to allow my dreams to come true. I'm free. Like if I walk in a store today and I see the person, I'm not, of course it may be like oh shoot, but it's
Right.
like I hold my head up still. I still walk like in that freeness, in that deliverance, in that new that God gave me. Like he was waiting for me
Mm-hmm.
and he walked me through the process. And writing was part of the process. Speaking out was part of the process. And I always say, ask and you shall receive. God is not going to have you ask and you might have to wait a minute, but he's not going to tell you ask me and you shall receive it. Pray about everything. Be anxious for nothing. So if I'm anxious about walking in the store, my resources, I'm about to pray about this. Like, God, give me the courage, give me the strength, give me the tools. Like this person, or I need to say this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
no longer. Ask me something, I'll tell you.
Right. Right.
I'm not in that. Like when you say you saw me in that earlier, like what was that, 2, 3 years ago?
Yes.
And guess what? That wall was there because I wasn't sure,
Mm-hmm.
who to open up to. Because if you come to me back then, if you came to me with my business, it was because God told you, because I didn't tell anybody.
Right.
So now it's like if you tell me, it's because I told you, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Right.
It
Right.
doesn't hurt me in a way where, you know, I close down or that wall goes up.
Right, right. And see, I think that's the more we share, the more we reach other people, right? I think it's so important to share our experiences. But I do understand that you have to be in a place, right? You have to be in a place to where you're actually able to share your experience and
Mhm.
it doesn't seem like you're still angry, from your experiences. Um, we've all gone through things and we all go through things, but especially in our community, we try to keep things quiet. And so I definitely, and it's not, it is, it's pride, it's shamefulness. Um, and then in some instances where you were talking about, your family and you just learning things that they went through, I think a lot of times they think that it's protecting. They for some reason they feel like they're protecting us by not telling us when it's the total opposite, right?
Yes. Especially
So,
if you want to repeat it. I don't, I did not, and I will not repeat
right,
it.
right, right. And you've already shown that because you've already, that generational curse, you've already broken it. You've
Yeah.
already broken it. You've already done so many things outside of what was done before it got to you, before you, right? To
Yes.
just say no more, it ends here. So you are the generational curse breaker for your family
Hmm.
in this regard, right?
Yes.
So with writing your story, sharing it out and speaking like you've been doing, you've already told us how it has changed your life, but the people around you, like the closest to you, how has that changed them and other people who you don't even know, but you found out that were inspired through you sharing your story?
Wow. It's been big. It's been real big. And because it's natural, when I hear it, it's still like it makes me just like it tears me up because it's like I just do what I do. I mean, when you just do what you do, but in a sense of like stepping out and out of my box of comfort or I wasn't comfortable. That was the thing. My
Mm-hmm.
husband would be like, it's like I'm with a different person. Like I was like, I know, I feel different, but my daughter, she's so like encouraged, but she says, I've always known you could do it. I've always
Oh.
known. But it has her where she steps out of her box, where she's not afraid to like apply for a job she wants or
Mm-hmm.
do what she's always been do what she like to do, want to do. My son, his drive has always been there,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like amazing. We talk about breaking generational curses, identifying what they are, and
Right.
moving forward. Like now, he's a father. Like it goes deep. Like now, you're
Right.
the example for this life, for this person, for how she sees you, the world, what she could
Mm-hmm.
change, what she could do, and that's what it's about. Encourage her, strengthen her, develop her. And then my husband, it's like, and my even my daughter-in-law, it's like for them to look at me in a way that, for one, your kids never think you went through nothing. And my daughter has this like, you just look like that. Like she like now she really understands. You just look like that. I'm like,
Right.
yes. So it's like like again, we've always had very close knit family. We've always been supportive of each other. We've always
Mm-hmm.
talked. We had dinner, breakfast, whatever. They're my neighbors, everything. So in that aspect, it's always been strong. But for them to um, see, read, and understand the places I've been, it's like my son just like, Mom, I'm so proud of you to hear that. And that's like bigger than anything for your kid, and
Mm-hmm.
your husband to say that they're proud of you. So that's like been amazing that I've been able to step out of that box of just being a mom and a wife. Like I'm a woman. I'm me.
Right.
Like there's things that I always wanted to do, but didn't have the courage or didn't think I can do it because of holding back, because of not
Mm-hmm.
letting go. So now that I'm there, it's amazing. Um, a lot of comments and encouraging words from um, coworkers. I have like maybe two or three coworkers that one lady, she came up, she bought one, she bought two, then she bought two more. And then during a fire drill at work, she like runs up to me and she's like, I need four more books. She's gifting. And she
Mm-hmm.
was like, you standing here in front of me is like amazing. And I was like, oh my God, a chick at Target, she's like, didn't know that and that's another example. Like, you don't know what people are going through. And I just was talking. I just say, hey, how are you? Because I'm getting in her line.
Hmm.
Oh, your daughter on your picture is so cute. And she's like, oh, you're buying Pampers. You have a baby. I'm like, no, I'm a granny. She's like, you a granny? So
Right.
that started the conversation where she would check on my baby and she would check on me. And then she didn't look too good one day. And I just like, how, are you okay? And she just like, and I said, well, why journal? And I said, I just joined this community, Writers Women Community for Women. And she
Hmm.
was like, really? And, we started talking. She started sharing. She asked me for my number. I gave it to her and we talked. I mean, she went like she wanted to hug in her line.
Oh, yeah.
So when she read the chapter, it was just like Tosh, like she called me Miss Tosh. I'm like, just call me Tosh. She's much younger. And the reviews that I've gotten like through Messenger and text messages, one of my cousins was like, and she's in our family, and she's just like, cousin, like I had no idea. She was like, you never know what people are going through or went through, and she said, but you're always this way, like you're always in a good, and I'm like, well, what happened there? Just like I don't take my home to work, I don't bring my work home. If you didn't do it to me, I'm not going to give it to you.
Right.
And
Right.
if you did it to me, I'm going to address, we're going to talk. But she was
Right.
just like, I had no idea. My other aunt, I mean, it's just like, wow. It's been
Wow.
like and it gives me encouragement to like keep moving forward with the assignment that he's given me. Because when you mention about um, God wakes you up when it's something he needs you to do,
Hmm.
mine was like a good 2.5, 3 weeks worth of messages, word about generational curse, being the
Hmm.
way,
Right.
not being ashamed. I was just like,
Hmm.
and if you're gonna do it, do it. Do it afraid. Do everything that he directs me to do, even if I have to. Sometimes I gotta process it mentally and
Hmm.
emotionally because it's like wow. So it's changed. It's changed a lot, and I'm just like I'm excited about it.
And I'm glad. I'm so glad, because those people that's assigned to you, they're gonna get the very best, right? So the things that you've gone through, and it's weird that it doesn't feel this way. When we go through things, we don't understand. We have no clue. We want to know why. And then years later, God will come back and show you why it had to be you, right? And a lot of times, we're just the ones that He used, but it's really for other people. So you're the one that was used in your situation, but it was for all of those people that you've been able to help since writing your story, since speaking out about what you've gone through. I think that's huge. That is amazing. And it always makes me feel so special, you know, because it's like God strategically handpicked you for this assignment. There's a million people in the world that He could have chosen, He could have picked, but He chose you. And He trusts you enough to be the one to reach back and pull others out. How amazing is that? Through something that was painful, and that's an understatement.
Yes,
But through something that was painful, didn't bring you any joy at the time that you were going through it, just for Him to turn around and do what He's done.
yeah,
It is so amazing.
it is truly, truly,
Yeah,
truly. You made me think
y'all.
when I was before when I was starting to write, and I was still journaling in between writing in like 2019, the early part. And one morning, I started my journal, and it said, "What? How far you can remember back as a child?" And originally, I was writing about just my husband and I, like what we went through and where we're at. But it was like, journal about how far in your mind can you think back.
Mm.
And I thought back as far as three. And that's where that's where the discovery started.
Wow.
Identification started of like, this has been ongoing.
Hmm.
The experiences is ongoing, the emotions, the breakdown. And it's the
Hmm.
breakdown of women for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
That's been since before me.
Hmm.
And I would just write, and it came. Like, this was, how did I get to this kind of marriage? How did I
Hmm.
get to, And so
Hmm.
I started from now and worked my way back.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
always say there's a start to everything. Where did that start? And that's how I
Right.
got here. It was tough.
Mm.
It taught me too to start praying for myself,
Right. Right.
because the strength that I still need, because this, I always say, this is the start. You got to start somewhere. So this is the beginning. So I don't know what next month hold. I don't know what's going to fall on my lap, but am I going to be able to take it? Am I going to be able to, like, handle it, develop, process it? So that's the part, my I'll be excited about what God's going to do.
Yeah. Right. Because it's like this, and people might think it's a little overconfident, but you can never be overconfident when you're talking about God and what He's able to do. Right? He
Mhm.
doesn't have limits when we're talking about what He can do. So I always say what I've been through gave me the confidence that I know He gonna pull me out of anything. So
Yeah.
I'm not even worried because what I went through, I promise you, I don't think that was bad, real bad. And if I can sit here today, painted in grace and mercy, and if I didn't share my story, you wouldn't know half of what I went through just by looking. I'm not worried about what's to come. He's going to take care of me. He's
Yeah.
going to protect me. He's
Yeah.
going to equip me with what I need to get through to my next.
Hmm.
Whatever comes, he already has the road laid out to how I'm going to get through it and go to the next.
Yep.
So I'm like, it's not me being cocky in myself because I don't have the ability to do any of this.
Yeah.
It's me trusting and knowing in my God,
Yep.
knowing that He's the one that did it before, and He's not going to stop being here for me now and doing everything that He promised me
Hmm.
as long as I keep walking with Him. So I
Yeah.
ain't worried about nothing,
Yeah.
you know. And
No.
I'm like, that's not copying me. That's me. Yes, I am overly confident when it comes to
Yeah.
my Father and what I
Of
know He can
course.
do and what I believe,
Hmm.
Him to be able to do. And I'm like, I feel like He created this whole earth just for me. I know He didn't, but that's
But
my
that's what I
confidence.
feel.
Right, because that's my confidence in Him
Yeah.
and who He is. Um, I know that was just something I wanted to share. Um, so let's shift a little bit and talk about where did the inspiration come from for I Choose To LLC. Let's talk about that.
Because
CEO and founder.
I know, right? It's because I chose to make the changes. I choose to. I choose to walk in the truth that God has for me. I choose to walk in the path that, although it's unfamiliar, but I'm willing to walk that path. I'm willing to break generational curses within my family and with others. I choose to be accountable. I choose to dream. You know, I held back so many dreams, and it's like, God, like, I told you. Every time it's like, I told you. So, I choose to show up. I mean, it's just what you choose to do to make those changes, what you choose to do to better yourself, to encourage. I choose to encourage. So what do you choose to do? I choose to. If I was like, if I stand by myself, that's enough for me, you
That's
know?
right.
So,
So in your I Choose To LLC, what do you do?
well, right now we're putting out t-shirts. I'm in the last portion, and it's just I want to build a community of like a comfort space, accountable space, just to acknowledge where you were, where you've been, and where you're going, so that you so to uplift you, to get you in that space where, because God didn't put us in here to just for us to sit in those areas, especially that are hurtful, and then especially where you hurt other people, and then people you love, because
Hmm.
your home relationships, they also venture out to your work, store, driving, I mean, everywhere.
Hmm.
So it's like, what do you choose to do to better yourself and then to help others
Yeah.
do that? And then for the moms, I mean, children are very, I'm really, really passionate about children. I'm like their number one cheerleaders, because it's like, again, as parents, we make mistakes, but it's like when you acknowledge, when you're accountable, you can change them, you
Right.
know? But a lot of times that don't happen, it don't happen. And I want to like be that avenue to like help get you to that space, because I don't care if you're 50, to get a genuine apology, to get like, I acknowledge I hurt you then, so to like counseling, like just a workshop of just like uplifting, being accountable, and like mending, like this,
Right.
we're here to like for each other, not to tear each other down, not to hurt you, not none of that is we should be here, especially your family, your daughters, your sons, your mother, you know right now, working on with my mom and I, we're coming to a much better space. But that's what I choose to. I want to have like workshops, and like for mothers and daughters, and of
Hmm.
course start early. But guess what? Because I realized it, and I'm at this age, and I have the courage and just like the tools to mend. You could be even 60.
Right.
It can still be for you, because as long
Right.
as you get up, God give you another day to make it right, turn it around. So it's broad for
Right.
all ages.
Yeah, but I love it. I promise you I do. And the one thing that keeps standing out to me is accountability. I love that piece of what you're doing because oftentimes, like, as parents, when we make mistakes, for some reason, some of us don't feel the need to apologize to our children, right? So that's us, but you want them to get over it. You want them to heal. Like you said, accountability is huge.
Yes.
Like, we know that you did the best that you could, right? And things happen. I'm gonna use me as an example. When my daughter was young, she was sexually abused, and when I found out, we went through this entire like I literally, if there was a time when I wanted to die, I wanted to die. Seriously, because there's no worse pain than for a mother to know that you could not protect your child, right? That's one of the things that we're on earth to, I feel like as a
Hmm.
mother, my
Hmm.
first priority is to protect my child, and I could not do that. So I had to sit in that and sit with it. And then I owed her an apology. And I gave her an apology because I realized that I was the parent,
Hmm.
right? I'm the one that didn't protect her. I'm the one that had her in this space where she was not protected. So I failed. I failed her. So all I wanted was for my child to be healed. I did not want this to be something to, you know, dictate her future or paralyze her and have her be this in this agonizing pain forever and then pass that on, right? I did not want that. So I knew, well, I didn't even care what I looked like at the
Yeah.
moment. I wanted her to be okay with the situation that, not okay with, but I wanted her to be able to heal from the situation that I, as her mother, put her in.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I just love the fact that you said accountability because a lot of times parents don't want to do that. They don't want to, but when we're wrong, we're wrong. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you, like for me, I didn't know, right? But I still was supposed to protect her. She would not have been in that environment, in that space, if it was not for me.
Yeah.
She wasn't even old enough to take herself, or put herself in this environment. So my decisions caused her pain, caused her to be in an unsafe environment.
Yeah.
And I had to realize that, and it was hard. As a parent, it's hard. But what do you want to do? You want to make yourself look right, or do you want to heal your child from
Mhm.
what you caused, like the position that you put them in?
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean to hurt her. I did not. I would never do that on purpose. But the fact still remained that I did,
Yeah.
right? And so I gave her, you know, I apologized to her. I gave her, I allowed her to tell me exactly how she felt about, me and my part that I played in the whole situation and everything like that. And she's not a disrespectful child, so she didn't cuss me out and do any of that. But even if she did, you know,
Yeah.
I felt like I needed to let her be honest about how the situation made her feel because I was the cause of, well, not the cause, but I played a part in it. My decisions
Mhm. Mhm.
played a part in what happened to her. So,
That.
we have a wonderful relationship. Thank God she didn't, blame me or anything like that. But I wanted to put that on the table, and I wanted her to know that I was truly sorry for my decisions that caused her harm, right? Because as parents, we don't think about the things that we do and how it affects our children.
Mhm.
We just make decisions based on, well, I want to go here, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I was a young um, teen mom, still no excuses
Yeah. But that's what it
because
was. Yeah.
exactly that's what it was. It's not an excuse, but it's just we don't think about the decisions that we make and how that will affect our children.
Yeah.
And so I'm just glad that you have that being a part of what you offer because getting people to be in a place to where they're ready to accept their role and be accountable for their actions is huge.
It is.
It's huge. Like you can't expect people that you've hurt or that has been hurt by your actions, even though you may not have been the one to hurt them. But if your actions in any way cause them harm, you have to be willing to be accountable for that.
Mm-hmm. That's big. That's super big. That's like the first start of
Yeah,
healing.
of healing. Exactly. Right. That's why I said a lot of times, people want their kids to move on and get over it. Well, can you at least acknowledge your role? Can you at least apologize
Yeah.
for the role that you played?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I wasn't the one who harmed her, but my decisions as
Yeah.
a mother
Mm-hmm.
caused her to be in an unsafe environment. So that's I have to own that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had and it trust me, I think that part for me was harder than actually forgiving the person that did it. And that's just me being totally transparent and being honest because you gotta sit with yourself.
Yeah. The guilt.
Exactly. It weighs so heavy, but I couldn't expect her to heal if I wasn't willing to be accountable for the role that I played. And that's just what it is.
Wow. That's big. That's super big. Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, you know, my experience, and it's like I had to do that on my own for so many years.
Mm.
Like so many. My dad don't even has not a clue.
Oh, wow.
Not a
Wow.
clue. And it's just like I had to do it.
Hmm.
It was like I had to do it for me the best I could.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want anyone, any other female or parent, but especially like to go through that whole process alone.
Right.
Or and to make sure it doesn't happen. Like bring awareness to it.
Hmm.
Bring
Hmm.
awareness to it. For that, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, seven, teen,
Yeah.
bring
Yeah.
awareness to it. Like, this is happening or this has happened.
Right.
This could
Right.
happen
Right.
as best you could. You can't stop everything, but the things
Mm-mm.
that are within your reach, which is your kid,
Right.
you know, you should do everything possible. Awareness,
Right. Mm.
acknowledgement, accountability,
Yeah.
forgiveness,
Yes. Yes.
forgiveness. I mean,
Yeah.
if it has happened already, forgiveness. Like,
Hmm.
right, we went to this counseling session, and it was like really huge because um, he talked about the offender or is over it.
Hmm.
You have to give the ones you offended.
Right. Right.
You can't say, "Oh, it's happened already. I'm not living in the past." No, 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 no. The person that is affected the most, they're still living in the past emotionally, mentally, but you done moved on. Like you can't do that. You're
Right.
not giving that's not healing. In really
Mm-mm.
in reality, they're not even healed.
No,
Because if
they're
you were
not.
healed, you wouldn't get so offended of going back to it.
Right. Right.
So I was just
See,
like,
yeah. See, people have these compartments and they like to put stuff back here in this compartment, right? So if I put it back here, I'm not dealing with it. So
yeah,
I'm over it. And you're really not.
no.
They're really not over it.
Mm-mm.
Um, and I'm just excited for everything that you have going, everything that you have coming with your organization, and looking forward to seeing more books from you because I know that there's more. I'm
Yeah,
just excited. Just
me
get
too.
ready for me to be cheering you on and look, texting you. Can I get an autograph copy? I don't want to go. I don't want to go on Amazon and order one. I
I
want an
know, don't.
autograph, but I want an autograph copy.
Of course.
So,
I
so,
forgot to mention too. I have
uh-huh,
an engagement coming up at a college. I was invited to speak at a workshop. I know. It's like, oh
yay,
my goodness. And she
yay.
approached me just from reading my bio.
Mhm,
That was
mhm,
like before, like, and she's already, is stamped that she got the 30 books for her students and
mhm.
everything. I was like, oh my gosh. So now I'm just like
Amazing.
just trying to stay focused on that and just get more visibility and just get out there more.
Exactly. And that's why things like this, and that's why we're all going to continue to share your posts and share your experiences so that we can spread the word
Yeah.
about what you're doing, right? It's all about us working together,
Yeah.
uplifting and helping each other build. There's
Mm,
room and there's a space for each one of us. Your lane is not my lane. My lane is not your lane. I'm going to support you. I'm going
yeah.
to push
Yeah.
whatever it is that you're doing. I just think you're amazing.
Well, so are you. I'm
And
really
not just,
appreciative.
no
I'm
problem, look, and
Mhm.
not just because we're blessed, not broken family members, but but just because you truly are an amazing person. Um, and I wish nothing but continued blessings to you, your family, your business. I can't wait to see you and your husband again um, at
I
Food to
know.
Profit
And
next year.
so,
Right. So what's next for you?
I'm on volume 5, Blessed Not Broken. I was like, whoo.
Yes.
I had to take the opportunity because Tamara, she put in like 3 extra experts that I need some tools and guidance from that portion. So it's
Yeah.
called Emerge, but I'm on that project, and I should be finished with my own book. It's a listen. Initially, when I started off, I was just like writing, but it was like this is really deep.
Hmm.
And the more I was like sitting in it, and like the recollections and the my prayers and the messages and the everything dropping down, I was like, no, this is a lot I had to include that was blocked out. So I wanted to
Hmm.
be like a super super like tool,
Hmm.
encouragement, um accountability, love. At the end, I mean, you love your family, you want what's
Yeah.
best, so implement that. And then of course, you know, the breakthrough.
Yes. Yes.
I
The
just want to
breakthrough.
continue like other engagements. But yeah, the book, I'm getting product. I finally found like the best little screen printer for my
Hmm.
t-shirts. And then I'm going to do the hats. So I have
Yeah.
three versions of my I Choose To t-shirts.
Hmm.
One with just the image of me
Hmm.
with the colors in her hair, and that represents all the dreams and love and the plans and the connections, like everything going on within her. And I would just want that young lady to imagine that's you.
Yes.
What you were holding back, you don't have to. What's up
Hmm.
in there, you can follow through and get it. And so of course the other t-shirt with the phrases of what she choose to do, what you choose,
Hmm.
and then just the phrase itself.
Right.
So that all that is coming together. I should have everything stamped next week,
Yay.
and to also I have connections with my local radio station, real popular
Hmm.
KPLH. I'm
Yes.
getting ready for that. So it's just like, wow, this is the beginning, and it's like it's exciting. So I'm ready.
Yes. I'm excited for you.
Me
I
too.
really am. Let the people know how they can connect with you.
I'm on Facebook. As my daughter said, that's for old people. I'm like, well, you want it because you saw it. But it's Tasha Byrd on Facebook, and then I have Instagram, and it's Tasha Byrd, and then ichoose2.com. You could go check out
Hmm.
the website, purchase a book, pre-order your T-shirt, and then you could also directly email me at Tasha at ichoose2.com.
Yay. Okay, this is my last question.
Okay.
When you hear the term all bets on me, what comes to mind? What does that mean?
Goodness gracious!
Hmm.
When you invited me to that group, and I shared it with my 15-year-old, well, she was 14 last year. And I texted to her, I'll bet, what does that mean for you? But what it meant for me was like, if I don't show up for me, nobody else will. If I don't bet on myself, nobody else will. That means invest my time, invest my money, everything. Invest new things to come at me, investigate those things, interact, find out, connect, collaborate, love, like women together. Like I bet on me, I bet on you because you're worth it. I'm worth it. We're worth it. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Look, I held you 4 minutes over.
And enjoyed every 4 minutes of it. Don't
Right.
worry.
This has been an amazing conversation. I want to thank you again for accepting the invite to grace the All Bets on Me stage.
Thank you.
Um, this was truly. It's making my heart smile. I promise you it is. And I won't talk about it too much because y'all know I'm the crybaby of the bunch and I don't want to be
Yeah.
crying. But I'm truly grateful for you accepting the invite. I'm truly grateful for your presence in the community. Um, Truly grateful for you inviting your teenage niece to the community and just sharing it. So thank you so much. Continue to bet on yourself, continue to shine, continue to show up
Hmm.
for yourself and everybody that's assigned to you.
Yeah.
Show up and show them how to show up for themselves. Continue to break generational curses. I am just, I'm excited for you. And I'm
Thank
going to be watching and cheering in the background.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I
No
really enjoyed
problem.
the time too.
No problem
Thank
at
you for
all.
having me.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure. So we're going to end the broadcast. Thank you guys so much for everyone who stopped by, dropped in, just to spend some time with us on this Saturday morning. Even if you catch this on a replay, feel free to leave us comments. Reach out to Tasha if you're interested in, well, you should be interested in connecting with her. So reach out to her. Also, Tasha, on Wednesdays, we got Winning Women's Wednesday in the community. I need you to put your merchandise, your link, your websites, however, in the community to share it out with the
Okay.
other women that's there.
Thank you.
All right. So you
Okay.
guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you again, Tasha, for
Thank
joining us this morning. I'm greatly appreciative. Have a good one.
If you go over a bridge, can you take a picture? I know where you at.
I absolutely will do that. And I'm gonna send it
Share
to
it with
you.
me.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
All right. Bye
All right.
bye.
I love you. Thank you.
Love you too. See you.